that will oppress anybody that has controversial things. So this is why we are in the unenviable position of having to agree with people who are controversial. This is why we find ourselves with the unpleasant situation of supporting people who we do not agree with. Because if we do not stand up for them, well then they cannot stand up for us when the time comes. So, with that opening statement, I'd like to welcome Dr. Jordan Peterson. If you've been paying attention to this whole debate, Dr. Jordan Peterson has many
Okay. Well, as you can see, the opponents of free speech are capable of making a lot of inarticulate noise.
Yeah, literally.
Right, so I want to tell you a couple of things about what this is about as far as I'm concerned. I'm not going to talk about sexual politics. It's not my primary concern. What I'm going to talk about is freedom of speech, and I want to tell you a few things about freedom of speech, okay? Because I've been thinking about this very carefully. I've been thinking about this very carefully over the last 2 weeks. It's partly because of the videos that I've made.
I thought you don't like cops, though.
But also because
real mature.
Yeah!
Men need to stop this nonsense. He's really
You are cowards!
real.
You are cowards! You're all cowards!
Okay, so let's try this again. All right. There's a reason I'm defending freedom of speech. Woo! And the reason for that is quite straightforward. The reason I'm defending freedom of speech is because that's how people with different opinions settle their opinions in a civil society. And that will lose so much you can't imagine. Now here's what's happened with Bill C-16 and the surrounding legislation. Free speech is the mechanism by which we keep our society functioning. Woo! It's as a consequence of free speech and the ability to speak that people can put their finger on problems, articulate what those problems are, solve them, and come to a consensus. Woo! And we risk losing that. Now, you can say there should be reasonable restrictions on free speech, and that's the case. You shouldn't be allowed to yell fire in a crowded theater. And reasonable people can discuss and debate what those restrictions should be. But we can't debate the fact that putting restrictions on free speech is something dangerous beyond comprehension. And that's what we're faced with. Now, we've had laws passed in this country that regulate what people can say. Sorry, what people can't say. And that's reasonable. But it seems to me that we're in danger of crossing a line. With Bill C-16 and its surrounding legislation, it's the first time I've seen in our legislative history where people are attempting to make us speak their language. Hey, and that's not something that I'm willing to do. Now, the radical left activists are trying to turn this into an argument about sexual politics. And it's only nominally about sexual politics. It's about language that's designed to control our freedom of expression. Yes!
Yeah!
I've received many letters and many comments from friends of mine at college who've been criticizing everything I say. And no wonder. I don't speak perfectly, and my arguments aren't perfectly formulated. neither are anyone else's. And we have to be able to say what we have to say badly. We won't be able to think at all. And I know where that leads. I studied totalitarianism for 4 decades, and I know how it starts. It starts with restrictions on freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Yes. We don't need them.
Yeah!
Here's what I recommend. You all have consciences. Check with your consciences. Check with your consciences. Say what you have to say.
Take it! Take it! Take it! You are perpetuating hate speech!
What are you guys taking this to? Is it science? Racist! What are you guys taking?
Racist shouldn't be hungover!
Business!
Business?
Take it! Take it!
How are you transferring?
It's weird! It's weird! It's weird!
Trigger!
Terrible information from
Shame!
people on the left
Shame on you!
in the past week.
There's only 2 genders!
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah!
You are touching the right of the night of the that commit violence on classrooms! How dare you deny the humanity of people! How dare you! How dare you dehumanize us!
Business! We answered your question already.
Oh my gosh!
Asking your question. Right now.
Shame on you!
Right. So I received terrible information. Sorry you can't handle men shouting down the road yet. Last week. Go back to your terrified if you don't want it. I can tell you, if we keep